So hey guys, welcome to this new video. Um, the topic is very exciting. It's about how you guys can create content on LinkedIn. So I've been creating consistently on content on LinkedIn for the last 2.5 years time, and I was also one of the LinkedIn's top voices um, last year, that is 2021. So a lot of people come to me and ask, hey, they are finding it very difficult to create content for LinkedIn, and how do I do it consistently every day, right? So I thought that okay, let's use this as a content for today's YouTube video, and this was also a part of the slides that I took for a webinar last month, in which I covered almost A to Z when it comes to LinkedIn content creation and also LinkedIn lead generation. Maybe I'll give the link to the entire webinar in the descriptions. So getting into the content, um, I never knew what to post on LinkedIn. All the stuff that I'm going to tell you guys here are directly from my experience of creating content for LinkedIn for 2.5 or 3 years time, right? And these are the winning content buckets that I have, right? So maybe you can also maybe inspire from some of these content buckets, and that would kind of work out for you. How I do stuff is that after a long day, I usually come to LinkedIn during the end of the day, like after 9 p.m., 10 p.m., to write content because I really like to write. Um, but sometimes there is this writer's block. What do you have to write, right? That's the hardest part when it comes to content creation. Even when it comes to YouTube, right, I spend uh, more time thinking about what actually to produce that will actually provide value to you guys, right? I think about that for a long time, and then when after I get an idea, it's just putting it out there, which is very simple, which is very um, you know um, step by step process that can be done by anyone, but that content idea is the key, right? So now what I do is that when it comes to LinkedIn, I have these about for 9 content packets that I have prepared for myself. So whenever I'm out of content, whenever I have that block, I come to this content bucket and think about pick each one of them and think whether I have anything in my mind that would come under these content buckets. One is some thing about marketing I experienced, learned today. Very interesting stuff. Maybe I'll try to give you an example related to that. So this is one content that I created according to that bucket, right? So you can see this is a post, a screenshot of the pop-up that YouTube shows us after watching a video. They ask us to whether they can you whether we are interested to take in YouTube Premium or not, right? And I thought that the CTA where they don't want us to click was really interesting. They said that that button was not skip now or we'll do it later, but it was keep ads, right? So I found that very interesting. I created a post on LinkedIn. When I came to this content bucket, I thought about something that made me think, and this was the thing that made me actually think. So I made a post out of it. It kind of well good. Um, then the next one is conversations that has struck me, right? This one works really well for me. I don't know why, because maybe people like to listen to conversations that other people had, right? So in which I'm talking about like literally quoting the conversations that I had with my clients or my friends or my co-workers, etc. So there are a lot of gold mines that you actually hear every day. And when I'm out of content, I think about the interesting conversations that I had with maybe a potential lead or someone, right? Um, that could be really insightful for people who are into marketing or entrepreneurship, right? So I quote them. I sometimes it could be if it's a negative thing, I would never mention the names. If it's a positive thing, I'll mention the names. It's one thing. Surely everyone will have content related to this. Try to think about interesting conversation that you had. and literally code that conversation as me, the other person, etc. It will be really interesting for people to read. Third one is Twitter screenshots. I think I have an example here. So I also post a lot of tweets, and what happens is that when I see that some things are going well on my Twitter, I just immediately grab a screenshot and put it on LinkedIn, right? And for some reason, what I see is that whenever I write something, write a one line on LinkedIn, I don't usually get as much as engagement as when I put that one liner on Twitter and grab a screenshot and share it here. Maybe it makes me it makes people think that um, that the tweet is already viral or something like that. That's the power of Twitter screenshots. If you're lacking content, always, or let it be on Instagram, on LinkedIn, or anywhere, you can go to Twitter, maybe screenshot your own tweet. It doesn't make give it isn't a huge task, right? You don't even have to design anything, right? You can take a screenshot and put it out there. I'm not really sure why, but people kind of love reading Twitter screenshots. um, um, One liners also go with it, and a lot of people have this misconception that LinkedIn is a very serious place, but for me, one liners have actually given me the most viral post that I've ever done, right? Milestone achievements, absolutely you need to do it. If you get a new client, if you have some announcements, if you have a new hire, if you uh, build something, if you even if you get some WhatsApp messages in which people, some clients actually appreciate you, take that and put it on LinkedIn, right? So that is the lead generation thing that you should always be putting out. And unlike other platforms, LinkedIn really loves achievements and milestones. You will be baffled even if you don't have any traction on LinkedIn, or if you don't have any followers on LinkedIn. If you put a post like I got a new job on this company, you'll get a ton of amount of engagement on that. Trust me. And the fifth one is case studies. Um, this for me is the most important thing when it comes, if you want to generate lead out of your content. Everything else will give you impressions, profile visits, followers, all these things, top of the funnel kind of stuff. But case studies are definitely going to give you conversions. Um, so yeah, so this is a case study that I posted early this month. I think it gave me about 10 to 15 leads right out of this post itself. So I put a screenshot of the result, and I also write a fully fledged case study in our website and give the link in the comments, right? So it will drive engagement, and also it will drive leads, right? But you need to have a really clear call to action that you are actually looking for clients. So you should definitely ask people to DM, right? I have done it here. Book review, I do that a lot. I kind of read one book per month, so it's just one post. So I know that definitely after reading a book, I try to dissect it. I put it on my email newsletter. Initially, you can subscribe to that via the link in the descriptions, and then also I try to pull up a version for LinkedIn, right? So that's a stable one that I always have. Hiring and partnering post, etc., will be huge in terms of engagement. um, in LinkedIn, putting a job post is the best thing that you can do, right? So whenever we are hiring freelancers, interns, full timers, I always put that on LinkedIn, which will give me a huge amount of engagement in terms of likes, comments, shares, all these things. And also it gives me a huge amount of profile visitors, because people want to know more about me before applying for the company. And also I get a lot of connection requests after that. So I see a lot of people hiring, but not, it is also one of the best signs that you can show off about your company, that you're hiring new people. That means your company is doing something right and it's growing, right? So maybe your potential clients could be interested in your company, seeing that you are hiring a lot of people, right? That's one thing. Second last one is very particular for me. I really got it out of after analyzing the engagement of my content, is that posts that are relatable to helpful or relatable to content writers. I noticed that whenever I talk about content or content writers, or how content writers can get clients, or how they can improve themselves, I get a huge amount of engagement, which means that maybe 50% of the people that are following me are actually freelance content writers, etc., something like that, right? So that is a very particular bucket for me. So you have to find out which audience do you have, right, in your LinkedIn, who is actually following you. You can only test it out by uh, trial and error. You need to put a lot of different content targeting maybe uh, designers, content writers, web developers, all these things, and you have to find out, okay, when I'm talking about content writing, I get a lot of engagement. So you can always have that on top of your head if you want more engagement, right? Last one is trending topics, which is also works really well on LinkedIn. It doesn't have to be a mobile marketing stuff or anything like that. Um, it could be even, for example, this post kind of worked well for me because it was actually the year end last month, and I just compiled a lot of things that went well for me, and also I also added some failures that I had in the last year at the end of the year, right? So at that moment, at the end of December, everybody is thinking about how the year went, and everybody is curious about knowing how the year went for other people. So that's the trending stuff that is happening then, right? So I thought to really get into that, and maybe give some simple bullet points on what all things went well, etc., right? um, so these are the things. You can also make a content bucket like this. Maybe you can inspire from this. So yeah, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, please subscribe, so that I stay motivated to produce more videos like this. So yeah, see you in the next video.